independently owned, independently ran. I'm also a real estate developer, probably one of the largest landowners and private landowners in Washington Park. We probably own, I don't know, 15 acres, blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and runs, a couple hundred property units as well. We bought a school, my partner and I bought a school, Anthony Overton, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, took some 4.5 acres. We're going to do a multimedia facility and build out, repurpose the school to bring sports, entertainment, tech, and real estate so everybody can, the kids can learn and be entrepreneurs and know how to be entrepreneurs from entrepreneurs. So I can keep going, but I'm going to stop right there.
Make a noise. Thank you very much. KP, let's go.
So my name is Kyle Craven, former NFL player, played with the Saints, director, filmmaker, started my own company called Chasing Greatness Productions. I do a lot of community with the kids. I train the kids, mentor them. I got a mentorship program through my company that we do a seasonal. But I like to say that the main things I do that I've learned is that I'm a storyteller. I'm just moving in my purpose. So I found myself in this space again, moving in an egoless position since leaving the NFL. And where now it's just been like, how do I teach that to the next generation? And so I did a film on Brown Awards, a film called Shifting Gears that talked about my transition from playing and having to re-identify who I am, to even have like confidence to even speak on this level. So these lived experiences that I went through have put me in this position to be in this place of, definitely like he said, to keep going on. I'm just blessed to be on this stage with these brothers and connect. And basically just keep going back these conversations that usually don't happen amongst the public crowd that usually get our kitchen table and our careers secluded. So I think these conversations, again, thank you, Rita.
On the porch.
Let's go. So thank y'all for being here. So that's me, Copper.
David.
Raise your hand if you're elected. Do I have permission for you to speak? Do I have permission for you to speak, Elder? Yes or no?
Yes.
I should. So, my name is David Hughes, President and Executive Director of the National Infinite Randolph Program for Museum. We're America's first and only Black Labor History Museum, founded by a Black woman in 1995. We represent America's first and only Black Labor Union, the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, commonly known as the Pullman Porters. Those brothers all lived in this neighborhood right here. So you see these brownstones over here, those are the gentlemen that own the buildings, own the businesses, funded the lottery, which started in this neighborhood as policy. You see that? This entire neighborhood was built because of the Great Migration. So between 1916 and 1970, we had 7 million blacks in the South looking for a new life. 500,000 came to Chicago. So we're proud to represent that legacy. But before I talk about who I am, I just want to big up everybody on the stage right now. I'm fans of all of you guys. I watched all of you guys come up and watch the work you do with Doug, JB. I'm just genuinely humbled to be in the presence of you guys because you guys are exemplary of what Black excellence is. In 2010, I had the pleasure and the privilege of standing in solidarity with DJ Beatdown, my partner Cruz, and we started the Shot City Record Group. And at that time, I was at Florida A&M University, and the gentleman named TJ's Chat started something called TJ's DJs down in the South. My man Bruce, he was in school, John, and all of them, and we started the Phillies. So we were like, how do we do this as a creative? How do we create this same energy that we down in the South and we rock? And I know my man at the crib, they can go crazy. Like, how do we do this? So we created that energy. And I'm very proud to say, very humble, that after we started that, at least like 13 years in the city, I remember when we brought Derek Jones to the city, and they brought Dirk and them in, and that's when we said, hey, Hell Railroad, I don't know if y'all remember that happened. Drum, met DJ Victorious, and that's how they did Chief Keef's, original drum, because Chief Keef's was too young to even get in. So, I want to preface the conversation by saying that because that's the foundation of what we call cultural and economic development. My mother was a singer. She started singing when she was 14. She was 7 now. She moved to Chicago from Cincinnati. She was managed by the Postal Nursery. And they taught her the music business and kind of sort of autograph, if you will. So that's how I learned the music business, just kind of watching her. So I always was interested and involved in the business of music. So what I did was I incorporated that into the history when she founded the museum in '95. So once again, we're global ambassadors of this concept called cultural and economic development. And that's where we use our history, our heritage, and our culture as a means of social and economic development. We develop the people before we develop the buildings. And that's the most important thing. And I wouldn't be able to stand so confidently in that if I wasn't an unofficial student of a gentleman like Dan Dash. You know, I was in high school when they first really got busy. And we were young dudes. We was in Hyde Park. People would call us the hip hoppers. So we was all into the New York culture. We was all from the hood though. My man Dave, my cameraman, he from 63rd and Vernon. You know what I'm saying? He would say off from 104. You know what I'm saying? All my guys from the East. So we was all from the hood, but we just had a different style of us. You know what I'm saying? So we was watching people like Dan and how they was able to like kind of finesse the street. That's what inspired us. So as we got older, that was what we were doing. So fast forward where we are now. Just to correct reader, I don't have 30 million, so I'm not understand. Anybody in here, you know what I'm saying? I don't got it. But what we did was we launched a capital stack. I've been mentored by, you know what I'm saying, ironically Republicans on Wall Street who taught me how to go out and raise capital in the public market. So they taught me how to put a price tag on your project and then you go raise the capital. So today, we've only raised $5.3 million, which is part of the first phase of the project, which is the expansion of the museum. So we're doing the Jesse Jackson Civil Rights Museum.
So the dope part about us having fun about it, we got more today is the reason we got this weekend going. That's why the conversation is very important. Because Labor Day means what? When you hear a person like Dane Dash says to be independent, but we still need to have labor to make it.
Because he does keep looking at
so
me.
Dan, tell everybody who you are.
He does. He keeps looking.
There we go. So let's get this going. Go ahead. This is Dane Dash. The billionaire maker, the dream maker, the baby maker of life. And we're here because we understand nobody can be a boss and work for somebody. So now, Dane, sitting amongst these people on the stoop, we call the porch here. Bully. You got governor sitting there. Dane, what do you take this moment of hearing this intimate setting right now? Why are you here?
Well, what I'd like everyone to do as it relates to me is look at me different. Everyone looks at me as a businessman, and I always tell everybody I can't be a businessman and I have no money. You get me? So, I've become more of an artist, and I want to be respected as such. Doesn't mean I'm going to do bad business. It just means I like being creative. That's just me. And it's made me happy as a person. And what I want people to understand is trying to figure out how to monetize what we love. And a lot of times we don't do what we love because we're in, survival mode. Survival mode. So you end up doing what you have to do for money. And there's no real love. You're doing it for people because you got to feed them, but you don't enjoy it. Survival mode is not the dream. Making money off things you would do for 3 years and making enough money that your family never has to do anything. You have to do that every year. So I've been able to do that for my family, and now I want to do that for my culture. But I want everyone to know you don't have to really sacrifice everything. Fear and the insecurities are taught to you so that you don't dream. But I just want to make sure everybody knows if you can visualize it, you can make it happen. You can be whatever you can visualize yourself being, regardless of what they say. And no one can stop you. Racism can't stop you. Evil can't stop you. Even economics can't stop you. The only person that can stop you is you. And we've been tricked into thinking that we need people we know, and that we're not as strong
as we are. And that it's only to hurt each other. And, you know, because being tough to me means that you're scared, because nobody wants to be tough. You just do that so people leave you alone. You feel you have to make these damage. And that's no way to live. It's very traumatizing. So what I've been able to do, I've been lucky enough to recognize what's been wrong with me and fix it. And the only way to fix what's wrong is to change what you're doing. And I also noticed that a lot of people are afraid to change. So I'm on the road, and you know, it's hard to find people that are like-minded, but you is like-minded. You know, this is clever. I thought I knew Chicago because I know people from Chicago. And I spend a lot of time with them, and I have, but I didn't spend time with them in Chicago. And I had this perception of Chicago, even though I've been there and known people, but I never thought it was a place I wanted to hang out. And, you know, I met Rita, and what I realized about Chicago is nothing's obvious. You think people are acting dumb, but they're really intellectual. Very tasteful. This is a really clean city. And, you know, you think the negative overweighs the positive, but, you know, talking about this, every place that there's the best neighborhood, there's also the worst neighborhood. But it seems like they only showcase the worst neighborhood, but they don't want to do another gem. In Chicago. It's like to keep it in secret. But I'm going to tell you about it. And also what I like is, I don't see other cultures helping too much in Chicago. I do see us helping us. We're in a building owned by us. That's right. I got to look at a family at that age. And the way you can coexist and be the boss. And how close you can keep your family. And when you do the rough stuff, you know, like you do something, you work really hard 30 years ago, and then you get to see your grandchild get like a master's at like 12, and you know that everything you did is not in vain. I got to witness that. I got to see something I didn't have with. But, you know, what does it look like when the family's not struggling? The family can do whatever a family wants to do. They choose to help the culture, the happy, the art, the artistic. They play instruments. They have sense of humor. They're bossy. They're swearing. You know, you think sometimes you have to sacrifice your goal to get where you have to go to survive. But when you architect something, you can do whatever you want. I went to radio station. It was an experience I'd never, you know, it was like a first time. It was the first time I walked into a radio station and I wanted to be the DJ for the person that was interviewing me. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to own things. I wanted to work with my family. And what I was explaining is, a lot of us culturally, we've never been bossy. We don't know how it feels. We don't know how it feels to make rules. We know how it feels to abide by rules. We know how it feels to survive. We know how it feels to work with people that don't like us. But we don't know how it feels to be making the rules. And the only way to make the rules is to own bricks, to own business. And you can work without whatever hours you want and with who you want, and you can make accommodations for who you want. And it feels good, it's priceless. And it doesn't matter how big or which your boss up is, as long as you can be the boss. But the one of the boss practices. Start with something small and just become the boss and watch how big and how big it feels. Paul. And there's another thing. Other than not want to be a boss again, and another not being like a boss. It's about the way you think. If you're born into the mentality that you're straight, damn, that didn't answer the question. Sorry. We're on the stool.
We're on the porch and we can talk about the movie. Just so you know, the porch was the first social media. So you put it in context. When you was on punishment, you couldn't go off the porch. Something happened, you came outside, like, what happened yesterday? What was this? And this is why we have this conversation, we put some respect back on the porch. So when we talk about the boss part, alpha, female, that I am, boss. Good. What about Dane and myself? I'm being humbly real today. What about Dane and myself is a light that you use in business today?
But I think that when you, like when I was like shorty, you always told me like, you gotta do what you wanna do. Like she used to always take me to like concerts and I used to like, you know, at a young age I was like probably 16. I was driving downtown, like going to concert. I remember Scarface was big at the time. And I was going to the concert, she had the backstage Scarface. I'm like, damn, this shit crazy. Like, but I was rapping at the time, so I'm like, I really wanted to be like a real rapper, you know what I'm saying? So I was like admiring Scarface. Me and my brother and my cousins, we always listened to him, you know what I'm saying? So that was just one time, you know what I'm saying? And even then, you know, the radio in Chicago was big, so, you know, there was a guy named Voodoo Master on the radio, DJ Ferris at the time. And I used to hold the first just to get in the club with them, you know what I'm saying, to the concerts. Just because I wanted to be around the energy and figure out the business part of it too, you know what I'm saying? So from that point, I wanted to be a part of the business side, you know what I mean? Instead of being a part of the artist side, just because I knew what was missing. But to go back to your question, you were saying, what was your question again?
A little bit for me, and a little bit for Dane.
Man,
But you how you use it.
Yeah, so both y'all are saying, like, I feel like y'all just go get it. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. You know, I done had conversations with him before even sitting on this porch right now. You know what I'm saying? And it was always like, yo, y'all doing what y'all doing exactly what y'all supposed to do. And that kind of make you feel good because navigating through this music industry, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's right and wrong. So if you're making certain moves and if it don't work, fall back on myself. I'm a manager, you know what I'm saying? But me just knowing my vision and how I was gonna get it and what was gonna come out of making them certain decisions, I got that for Dane, just seeing from the Rockefeller days. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta salute this man all the time, he's a legend. You know what I'm saying? So when I used to have conversations with him on the phone or whatever the case may be, or if I saw him through passing, I mean, I was at his house, he was shooting a movie. I'm just at his house, randomly. Man, that day I remember, like, I was so scared to even kind of say what's up to him because I was still coming up, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at him like, damn, this dude is legendary. You know what I'm saying? I'm at his crib, we shoot a movie. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just sitting from afar like, damn, I want to say something to him. Never really got my chance, but you know what I'm saying?
Look
I'm
at
sitting
you
here
now,
now.
Dylan. Look at you now,
Basically, like, you know, just go do it. Like, whatever you put your mind to, you know, these two, I always looked at them, and that's what I got, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things I got out of both of you guys.
I look up to you, but you know that. I'm gonna cry a little bit, but I ain't. So baseball, you met in my house, and baseball come through a little smooth. I was like, you don't even talk, you open your mouth. And then he showed me the dynamics that he understood the algorithm. And that's what we're gonna get into, the algorithm. And the algorithm meaning that he understood in order for him to compete and teach people as independent, he had to look at the business model that they was chasing, but he knew it wasn't the truth. And so he went and took the truth and did what with it?
Changed.
And changed it to a way that he could sit down and let you know what country and why you are popping in that country, but that's what he knew. He had to come back home and make sure home is tight as this, what he doing. So what about Dane inspired you?
Yeah, I mean, she should, but what inspired me about Dane, you know, the legend, you know, he been building businesses and his family has been building businesses forever, you know, so, you know, he's a no-nonsense guy, right? He will let people know what time it is, and, you know, that's me, you know, I'm not gonna let you just tell me something that ain't what it is, you know, usually the rooms I'm in is nobody that look like me in those rooms. And I'm aggressive, aggressive in ways that they can't believe because I'm stating facts. And I'm dealing with the numbers. I'm dealing with what it is. I'm a paperwork guy. You can't put a big ass number on top of the paperwork and then give you a 90-page contract and think that that's a fair deal because it's nothing fair about a 90-page contract. You can give me a 6-page contract and you're gonna give me more money, and this is why you can give me more money. So the thing that inspired me is the fact that no nonsense. He gonna check shit at the door, whether you like it or not. You may like him today, you may not like him tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he gonna move the culture, from, my friends who known forever, I was in the studio, telling the story, he was in the studio, it was John Monopoly, it was Don C, and he was like, fuck this shit, we about to, y'all don't get on camera, we about to shoot y'all series right now, right? He walked up to me, he's like, yeah, I don't know, but he introduced himself. And me, like I said, I'm flying the wall, I'm observing, I'm super modest guy, I don't really care about accolades or anything like that, I always wanted to be the guy worth $250 million in the room, and you don't even know it. So, that's the thing that inspired me. And he's a fighter.
He's so fun.
Guys like him are always gonna be misunderstood, because he's smart, A lot of people don't like smart people. They want to be able to take advantage of you with ignorance, and with that, if you fall for the traps, you will fall for anything, So a lot of times, dealing in the music business, I tell these kids I try and be a veteran of what's real. My advice to a lot of them is simple: don't be the lion, because everybody already know you're gonna be the lion. Be the fox, so you can see the traps. Okay. And in seeing the traps, because there's a lot of traps that are here for us as black men, whether we young or old. Any type of success represents economics, and any type of economics represents change. And with that, that brings power, especially if you're spreading out amongst others, So, I respect Dane for what he's done. I respect what he'll continue to do. And, I think that my biggest thing, and Dilla, we always bump into each other, seeing in Miami, man, bro, I'm proud of you. I love you, bro. Keep pushing. Anything that I can do, any information I can share with you to make you better, let me know I'm here for you. I don't mind being number 2, like Fat Joe said the other day. I know how to play my role, even being up the way I am financially. You know what I'm saying? I always know how to play a role and support my people.
He had this conversation with me in Miami, and we in a strip club. We kick it hard. When he pulled me to the side, that sold me up fast. That's how we talk. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see him, something always bigger and better with him. You know what I'm saying? I always tell him the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Is he back in the back right now? He just gave me some game on some new stuff that I'm actually trying to close the deal real soon. And he's like, wait, slow down. I got this other way you could possibly do it, you know what I'm saying, and make it a bigger, profitable thing for you guys, you know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate you doing JD for sure.
I appreciate you. And
Let's clap it up for working together.
what's important for us, we have to protect each other. We can't let people turn us against each other, regardless of what somebody may say, how we should act, or what we should be doing. At the end of the day, we have to protect each other as black men, so we can be protectors of our women who have our most valuable assets, which is our children. So it's very important that we protect each other. And if you can't it to him, don't say it to me.
Right.
You know, it's like checking shit at the door.
Yeah.
And that's me. I don't care who you are. You can be the toughest guy or whatever. I'm gonna just tell you because that's just what it is. And you know, at the end of the day, we gotta protect each other. We can't turn our backs on each other because you can't cancel our culture, something that we made. And this man is a very key component of building our culture. How can he be canceled our culture that he helped build? You know, it could never be that. And we gotta protect each other. That's the biggest thing. And you deserve to build out what you've done, but it's always be protected. You know, my brothers who, you know, we met me really for the first time, you know, but that's how I feel. We gotta protect each other because if we don't do it, nobody's gonna do it. You know, they don't wanna see us winning, you know, because us winning is us winning.
That's right.
You know, so that's the big thing, you know. And now it's time, you know, Rita got me out. Rita, you know, I'm super out the way. You know, you probably see me riding around in Chicago.
Yes.
And you know, I'm heavy into real estate, so I'll be in, you know, what people say is the worst neighborhoods. They're not the worst neighborhoods. They gentrify our neighborhoods. They disinvest in our neighborhoods because of where they're located. Majority of our neighborhoods are 20 minutes from the central business district with no flood plains. You know what I'm saying? It's the best land, transportation, everything that you need, infrastructure, everything that you need to make sure that we have it. So what we have to begin to do is own our vacant land when our land is $1 a square foot versus people coming in and raising the price up in our neighborhood, that gentrify our neighborhood, and then outprice us. Then when they outprice us, they out taxes and do everything else. And then now we are an hour away from the central business district in swampland, and that's what's happening in Chicago. And we have to be smarter than that and collectively work together, information share, and do all the things that we need to do to build success. Success for me is not having millions of dollars in the account. I don't really care about money in the sense other than it's a tool for me to work and do what it is that I need to do, that God has put me here to do. It's not one close and one receiving hand close and my money flow. I don't spend every dime, you know what I'm saying? I invest, I don't spend, I invest every dime, you know, and I do it because it's like if you're not giving back and you're not continuing to show, we gotta give back in the hole. So I appreciate you David, for reaching out to me, and you know how I get going, but I made sure that I made time because this was important to me to support Rita and support the men that's on stage that's next to me because I respect everybody up here for what they've done and what they'll continue to do. So.
You wanna know if he can smoke?
But this is, let me just support, I'm glad you said that. Slavery made us not uncomfortable about celebrating each other. Because if I celebrate each other, we still would talk still. Let's get back to it.
We all get a chain from Dane.
Celebrate him so he can see it and understand the influence that all of these sacrifices is present next to him. So we're gonna take this bully in.
Yeah, but I think this is bullying in a great way, bro. It's you getting your flowers one year, and
Amen. Amen.
Stage porch with all y'all. So I just met everyone that's on the stage.
That's right.
And I think you specifically.
I think she the lady from the
somebody that I
Apollo.
can put up on Netflix.
It's showtime.
And I'm gonna because I got to do straight to
At the Apollo.
You influence the culture with somebody
Showtime.
that
Yeah, a necklace, a chain.
West and be a part of that. And way more than that. For me, the way you go about your confidence, you're doing it being yourself. And that's the one thing that I always stress is that we can't get nowhere in this life without being authentic. People can really do that. The one thing I loved about Clubhouse was that you couldn't run from your energy and that person speaking over you. You can put up any profile pic, any picture, you can fake and be anything in this world which we live in. But when you speak, you can feel people's energy. And every time you speak, since I've been following your storytelling, is that it's always a conviction and confidence. Like you said, people may love you one day and not the next, but like this man will always be himself. And I think that's for me to be where I'm at, from an NFL place where the ego is always up here. And now we're on stage egoless with all these brothers up here that got different lanes that they in. And but the thing is, we're all trying to get one place, and that's equality and freedom to be able to create and not have to work a job when you know you want to be a storyteller, an artist, and create things for the generation and culture. You've allowed for me to be able to be on the stage because of you being authentic. So that's one thing that I see also in videos that like when I first came and you see how y'all move, the assertiveness is just the way you speak. You don't know me, I don't know you, but I just feel like I know y'all because we talk about being around more like-minded souls. Everything is in alignment. Like we wouldn't be here in this moment if it wasn't about God's design.
That's right.
And I live by that. And you know, and I live by that. It's the one that know God all the way. But I feel like this is the recipe for success by us all getting on stage and acknowledging you because you deserve it and you allow for a lot of us to be who we are today. And I appreciate you.
Let's go to money and show them how we are. That's the one thing I want us to show, is that we can come together from different places and culturally with family. How can we eat together? That's what I want people to
Dry
say.
solutions, they ain't dry solutions.
That is the solution.
Yes, sir.
I can say nice things about each other. We have actually so bullshit. So I love everything you're saying. And the fact that you guys are here and doing what you're doing when you're not here, that's the appreciation. Appreciation, as I said, is done. You know, since I've seen you, you know, you 10 times, you're multiple. You know, you guys, your life is now being recorded. I'm watching every problem you're going through and everything that comes with success. And watching how you're dealing. And what I know is you guys are cool. And I noticed that when I met you, I was in Doug's video with the governor in that grade at the time. That's how long ago when he wasn't around. And all those guys we talked about, when I did talk to them, was trying to get ahead. You know, you wanted to get ahead. And, you know, if you do with the contract, you can oversee pages and more better. And we need to talk. Everything that you're doing, you're a director, I'm a director. So I would love to talk to you about directing, because I love to compare notes. And one thing that's important is that culturally, that we're not just good for black people, we're good for people. We're better than everybody. Our competition in us is us against them. We're better than them. And, you know, the fact that you guys have the ability to do things separately means that y'all can really do some strong things together. Be creative and figure it out. You have this many people that got money on the stage, and no one is made, and you are done.
That's right.
If we don't make no money today, then it's all in vain.
So, since we making money together, I got other family members in the building that all about that money. I have Taylor Bennett in the building. Taylor Bennett is your brother Chance, the rapper. He came in on the block to see this side.
Chance the rapper. Child, why would he do that fine? Why would he do that?
He come running, but y'all been drinking this liquor. This duo guy, Mr. Jasper, please come on stage, please.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You know, she got the Q&A questions, but this ain't your house right now, Jamalita. So, Jamalita, this ain't your house yet. And can I get 2 more mics for the gentleman? So, pass the mic for me. Taylor, please introduce
drinking or
yourself.
something. I
Jasper,
don't
please
know.
introduce yourself. Let everybody know what you do. And then we're gonna go to.
So what's up, Chicago? My name's Taylor Bennett. I manage my brother Chance the Rapper. I'm an independent
No,
artist.
that, he looked just like his brother.
I've
Yeah.
been independent in the industry, and I'm really glad to be here. I know I got a lot of brothers up here that we can work with, but even more so than I respect. And I love what Dan said a little bit earlier. When we do these meetings, when we do these collectives, we should be talking about money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to be here, and I hope to talk about some money with you.
God damn.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's cool. I appreciate it. Now you said it for the mic though, because we're shut.
You got a lot.
Oh, you got your mic there. You go.
So, I was on Kanye's ranch and the situation happened with captain. And Kanye's fans are. I don't know politically I can say without being canceled, but they're just so erratic and they stole. And my intention was, I showed Kanye, and my intention was to show Chance to give us permission to see how everybody portrayed it. And someone stole my rough cut and bootlegged it, and it went viral. And it should have been tight. And I always wanted to apologize. I said to cut from GLC, told Chance, my bad. So, we're going on.
Yeah, because it is on our heart,
It wasn't intentional. And like when someone sees something before it's edited, that also is a violation, but I really wanted him to see it, and I'm gonna talk to him about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all still gotta get together, y'all still gotta talk,
So
but
that was my bad on that,
no.
and I really felt really bad on it. Like the GLC tell you, they didn't tell him, I sent the guy, I said, I'm gonna tell him that was my bad. But nobody even knows it's my footage.
No, it's all good, me, like I said, independent Bennett, but I hustle for my last name on my first, you know what I'm saying? So, we just want to check in anyway, but I appreciate you saying that in front of the city, because, we love this city, the city love you, we got a lot of respect for you, so that means a lot.
That was right, I promise you.
I appreciate it.
Jasper, you got some beef with that? Jasper, please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Jasper. Duo Vodka, that's my brand. It was drinking late. Appreciate it.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am drinking it.
I'm involved in multiple bars, restaurants, and venues in the city. I've been in the hospitality industry for 15 years. Appreciate y'all frequent something there before. And I do a little import and export between here and Ghana.
Yeah.
So let's take that in and clap it up a little bit, because it's very hard to break through to get the autonomy and the power and empowerment, because you want to be able to empower. Jasper empowers. So I'll give you an example of Jasper's empowerment. All-Star Weekend. I said, Jasper, we want to do All-Star Weekend. He's like, okay, Rita, I don't know you, but come on, you got good credentials. We come up, he said, what you want to do? I wanted to bring you Dre's from Vegas and cover your venue. So I don't want to say Deuces, I don't want to say, I want to say Dre's. He said, okay. I said, really? Yeah. So what you gonna do? I'm gonna bring DJ Khaled and everybody through. And what in that moment, I don't know if many people understand, Wrigleyville is not this color. This gentleman runs one of the dopest venues on Wrigleyville, and they reestablished and all that. So at -1, I said, Jasper, I want the pool on. Okay. Jasper, I want us to see when we go outside. Okay, I got a tent. While everybody was freezing, we had a pool moving, doing All-Star. And we didn't have one incident, not one coat was snatched. And one thing he kept saying was, okay. And Rita want to say to everybody understand, I took Dre's from Vegas and brought it to Chicago and put it on Clark Street because this gentleman's son saw a vision. But understand, I'm a black woman, took a white brand and put on another white brand and called it mine. And he helped empower it. That's what empowerment is. This moment, the reason why this is important for me, they don't want to be celebrated, they want their family celebrated and safe. And sometimes that takes us to be quiet. And they want us to stay quiet, so in this case with these lyrics and all that, they're making you uncomfortable about telling the truth that they know we live. And they don't want that truth to be told to the point that it inspired us, but more importantly, it was already written for you to write the lyrics to go to jail. So right now, I want y'all to write the lyrics of empowerment right now, because the legacies right now, this is what our school should look like, and what Harold Washington Cultural Center is. So Dan, right now,
Damn, child. Look at
we got
that.
to die.
Look at that. Keep
I
scratching
want
his head,
to
shaking
know
his
when
head.
you give everybody on this stage so we can get to making money a Rockefeller Center. Or the rock chain. See? The rock chain. Because we now on the blockchain.
So funny. Just gonna put me on the spot like that.
Yeah? How can we get to the money?
What do you think about it?
Okay. We're going to have a point of entry, and the point of entry is about
Wow.
I know.
Obviously, you're on the stage, and I'm trusting you blindly. Even I went and did a show, I did not know the run of it. I'm sitting here watching your leadership, and that's good. And again, she never tells you what she's going to do. She just wants you to trust the process.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And yes, this is Philly between Chicago's finest, and you're standing up for it because I'm trusting you blindly, and that's what we need to do and respecting you, is you trust me when you don't understand. That's what the whole respect is. Everyone that I spoke to here seems like real men. And as you know, I don't know dudes, but I only know dudes that are doing something for other people, which is, I guess, I don't like fake dudes. I like to be around a real person, and I can see everybody here brings something to the table. Everyone here seems to be fighting for others and for themselves. No, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Dane, watch it gone. Can you talk about OSG? Can you talk about the PTSD?
I can talk.
Yes, I mean, y'all talk about all the community stuff y'all do, because we know the things.
I'm proud of something. Thank you. It's 200 black principals around the country. On Tuesdays, I teach an entrepreneurial class, so that they can teach an entrepreneurial class. And on Thursdays, all the principals meet up and talk about what the Board of Education is not doing and how we can do what they are not doing. And the one thing I noticed about the principals is that they were having a hard time dreaming. All they knew about was being selfless and helping kids, but not really helping themselves. And to me, I'm a firm believer that, again, you can't help anybody unless you're one. You can't teach someone how to be happy unless you're happy. You can't teach someone how to be rich unless you're rich. You can't teach someone how to be fearless if you're scared. So the best way to teach, to me, is to lead by example. You gotta actually do it. And again, when I think about who I listened to when I was young, it was always who was the freshest, who was the plug, who the girls like, I listened to that because I wanted what they had. So you have to make our leaders, the people that are teaching, have something that the kid wants. They gotta be cooler than the others. They gotta be fresher than the others. Or any drug dealer or anybody that's doing something that may be considered dangerous or unhealthy. One thing I know about school is they offer you one path. It's teaching you how to have a job and survive in their world and work for them. Or you can bring a social class by being an athlete or an entertainer. And they provide both for you. Now, which one are you going to choose? Go to school and sit behind the desk or play a sport? Now, the chances of actually getting to a professional level at that sport are a lot. The algorithm of life tells you that. Only like a 0.5% will make it. What happens to the other 99% that chose not to really pay attention in school and learn how to fit into a system they don't want to be in, and now have job skills, and now they've hurt themselves and they don't make it to their dreams, which was provided to them by the school. They turn to crime. And based on the people that don't graduate, that's how many jail cells they build. That's exactly how that algorithm goes. If you don't graduate, you end up in jail. Now, because jail is private sector, I suspect that they want people to return, which is why when you go to jail, they don't teach you how not to come back. They don't give you any therapy, any skills as far as economics and fixing that. Even no healthy food is there. You go out with the expectation of coming back. And that is a pattern, that is intentional. So it has to be stopped. So the first thing we have to do is reprogram us to teach our kids different. Because the kids are the future. They need to have a boss mentality, not a failure mentality. They need to have an entrepreneurial mentality. Do they teach entrepreneurial in school? No. Do they teach you how to pay taxes in school? No. Do they teach you how to have money in school? No. And having money is a business within itself. Making money is easy. Keeping money, that's the art. They teach you none of that. Do they teach you how to pass a law on lobbies? No. Do they teach you how to grow food? No. They teach you how to have a job? Yes. Do they teach you should work your whole life, 9 to 5, sending kids to another stranger education?
No, that's a little girl.
While you out being tired and going to see them when you're tired and they're tired?
Right here.
Yes. Doesn't work for us, but it works for somebody.
She's so cute.
Everything. When somebody's winning and somebody's losing, we can't be on the losing end all the time. We have to figure out the narrative that makes it the winning. You know, we have to teach our kids. And the only way to make a good adult is to have a healthy child. Because all the problems that we have as adults, they've all come from the bullshit that happened when we were kids and insecurities. So that's what I'm into, teaching our future. But the ones that are teaching our future, they're scared, they're teaching fear. If you're afraid that the Board of Education is going to fire you, you got to teach a curriculum that you know is not going to help, how does that make you feel? So, the OSG, I'm celebrating, they are superheroes. They're the ones that work with me. They're not
That's Chance's
They
brother.
don't care. They're humble. So I try to empower anyone that's trying to help us. And I try to empower whoever I know that knows how to pass a law, that knows how to lobby. Because we can complain all we want. If it's not legal, there ain't nothing we can do about it. Even if it's right. It doesn't matter how it feels. It matters how that law is drafted up. When do they teach you how to be a politician? In school. All these things are intentional. You know, it's like algorithm. When things happen over and over again, it's not insanity, it's intention. So we keep hurting, and there's a cycle that keeps making it where out of survival is okay. It makes it okay to protect yourself, to kill your brother. Never your oppressor.
Period.
That's like the normal, to celebrate it, to rap about it. You know, to give a nigga a pound because he has a body. And the body is somebody with the same color skin. Why do you want to give a nigga a pound for killing your brother? It doesn't make sense. But it does make sense for them. So this is what I suspect. When slavery became illegal, it was like, yo, we gotta keep them slaves, they just can't know it. We gotta make them give us this freedom. So we'll keep them oppressed and make them kill each other. We get 2 for 1. One dies and one gets put back in the cage.
Yes, sir. Yes,
women.
sir.
They don't call us slave master no more. They call us warden and CO.
Okay.
And it keeps happening. Why does the jail, the courthouse, the hospital, and the school all look the same? Why does it paint the same lighting, the smells the same? That's attention.
Yeah.
You know, when I walk into a creative space, it's like, you know, let's take a garage or something and make it look cool. Like a lot of places in Chicago. You know, I can walk into places and I can imagine what it looked like before I had new windows. But once you put in the windows and some doors and floors and some paint, it looks cool. It's inspirational. Why not teach a kid in a spaceship or on an ocean? And we could if we're teaching our kids.
Period.
I went to a bookstore yesterday in Chicago, and it was fly. And it wasn't like just fly for black people, it was fly. But what I was saying was, when we own something, we do it different. I went to the vegan spot, all vegan, just did it a little swaggy. We make laws that are cooler and swaggier. Anything we do because you don't do it out of fear. When you want to control something, it's because you're scared. We're not scared. We like to love. We like to grow instead of kill. So when we are the owners and the landlords, our laws will behoove everybody. It'll be cooler than everybody, not just cool for us. We have to have the confidence in ourselves to know what it feels like to be a boss, to be an owner. And it's not for a color or a race, it's for a like mind. I don't judge nobody based on what their grandparents did. I judge people based on what they do in the moment. And I just think division and racism, it ain't just for black people. It's all meant for human beings to divide and conquer. That's the life algorithm. They always divide and conquer to control the masses. So 1% to keep the 99% working. It's not a color thing. Everybody thinks it's a color thing. We all been saying the same shit for the last 100 years, complaining the same way. They already know what we're gonna say before we say it. Say something different. It's not about complaining, it's about the solution. And there's no failures, there's learning experience.
That's right.
So, what is there to be scared of? Money is man-made. Love is God-made. Which currency are you going to trust?
Love is the new currency.
Love is the old currency. It's trickiness.
Original currency.
It is. God-made love. Man-made money.
Another gem. We're gonna start the Q&A. We're gonna just get the mic set. So we opened this up, so we wanted some people that looked at the internet and look at different things and want to get a personal question for themselves. The microphone is there, so you can start lining up.
Wait, can I celebrate it with getting the rock chain?
I got one more person to bring to the stage, and
It's good, you know what I mean?
I'm not doing it.
You walked off while I was talking.
Damn,
That's crazy.
it's not scripted.
On the stage.
It's not scripted. I was thinking about this.
Sorry.
All we do is
Yeah, they sword.
went to we got gangways in Chicago, so I can walk to the back of the house. Y'all can't do that in New York. So that's how we slide. It's called gangway mentality.
I'm gonna have to go because I'm about to run out of juice. Just want y'all to see some of it. I'm about to run out of my charge.
So that's what we're gonna make a movie about this moment.
We'll see who she about to bring out.
William Harper. You guys ever heard of Ardell Gardens? Yes. It's one of our projects in the south suburbs.
Oh, he was out there with us for a minute.
This is one of those dreams that I say come out of the concrete, and I'm gonna introduce and let him stay in the background of life. But he has over 14 properties, a million contracts with city and state, and this is one gentleman that everybody said wasn't gonna make it. And right here is proof that you can come from what they say and success to make your own success. I want y'all to know he's on 3 clubs in this city. When they say they can't come downtown, we're going to buy a venue in the south suburb and say, y'all can come now. When they come in the city and they be scared, they will call him and they won't be scared no more. We don't have that check-in and all that, but love is our city, and I want everybody to understand. This is General Zoe and William Harper, another successful
He keep looking at me,
black man
y'all.
in Chicago.
That's funny.
Makes me know it's smokes, but at the end of the day, what I want this porch element to represent is what our community has to be about, is owning the bricks.
Period.
Owning the steps to your future, and at the same time, you
All right,
have a
my
question,
phone about to die,
you
y'all.
make it breathe.
I love y'all.
So read it if you get out of line. Yeah. Oh, we got Shy in the building. Come on, let the block people on the porch cut ties.
Oh, my people is here.
You know you ain't gonna say
That's
nothing.
Mikey and his mama Keisha.
Yeah, come on. This is my guy from the Shy. He's been on the porch a lot. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey everybody. My name is Michael Epps. I play Jake on Showtime as the Shy.
My boy.
You'll see on the porch. If you've been in here, so right now dinner with the dreams. There we go. So y'all just know they popping in because this is the community and where we are.
Rita, can Bill talk about the hometown hero that they got in verbally expressed, so
Are
they.
you gonna come in and take over?
Now, they talk about the community.
And so as we
My
get into the
boo.
questions that I'm doing the segment, I know the other parts. So Dylan's other nickname is Ghana Don. He's from Ghana. I'm
That's
already
Dirk's
Ghana
manager
American.
right
So
there.
when it comes down to talking politics and having property overseas and doing things of like most people don't do. Dylan, you want to tell them about what you're doing in Ghana? Then Jasmine, you doing stuff in Ghana?
He ain't wanna come.
Then everybody
She had to
else
make him
doing-
come.
Let's talk about it.
So projects in Ghana, I'm from Ghana, you know what I'm saying? Bring you back to the hood. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm from Ghana. So projects in Ghana. My family, my father, into real estate in Ghana. So he been building property for a while. You know what I'm saying? In Ghana since I was a kid. So as now he's retired, he kind of turned over a lot of his land over to his kids, which is me, my brother, and my sister. So what we've been doing is just developing different apartments, condos, or whatever you want to call them in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So what I'll be doing is like just try to bring my touch to it. You know, I like to bring modern, different type of style to the property that I'm building out there in Ghana. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing out there.
And he in Chicago, definitely his home. I want to give a question so we can get the interaction going. Go ahead, first question, sir, introduce yourself.
My name is J.R. Fleming, Bernie Green, activist for about 20 years in Chicago. I do a lot of real estate and construction. My question is, what type of approach, so somebody like me, I get all the properties from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Hood. What type of approach should I have with trying to convince Chicago athletes and entertainers to invest either in real estate or this new emerging cannabis industry? I'm also the winner of 5 cannabis licenses in Illinois.
Okay now.
It's easy to win a license for cannabis. It's hard as hell for a black man to finance that business to make $20 million a year. So if you have any advice on how I should approach athletes and entertainers from this city to invest in this industry that's 98.9% controlled by white folks, I'm open for it.
Okay.
The whole question invested in you got your paperwork on it. I say four. Go ahead, you want to take it?
Hello. Yeah, because I'm about to.
The topic of conversation is how people bring together. There's so many different people that are good at individual things combined would be here. And that's the purpose of this call. It's not